It's another episode of That Range Lifer Show. Sometimes about golf, not always. That's very key. Got a fun one today. Hey, call to action. Go down below, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications for all the wonderful videos you don't want to miss from us. All right, just
hey, 66 subscribers away, William. 66 from the big 1K. We had we're doing that thing where we hit that pocket again, you know, like we had
speed pockets, yeah.
Yeah, the 10,000 views last month, it's like 700 hours. So there are some freeloaders out there, and I just hit the subscribe button and get it over with.
Subscribe to the goddamn channel, please. Thank you.
Come on.
Yeah, it's I was thinking about this the other day. So we have a not to deviate too much, we have a lot on the agenda for this show, but there's a charity golf outing put together from a friend of my wife's through church. My wife through church and growing up, and big church guy over here, obviously. And it's this golf outing, and of course they're looking for donations or whatever. And hey, do you have anything you can donate, Bill? And I said, well, like slightly used golf equipment is a nice thing, like to give your neighbor. But when you're going and buying raffle tickets for expensive money at a charity thing, you're not like, oh boy, a used 3-wood with a 180 gram extra stiff shaft in it. Perfect. Right. So I was thinking like, well, who could I hit up? Do I want to cash those tokens now? But then that made me think, I don't know if I want to cash those tokens, because I got to start hitting people up for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Don't forget, we're going to give stuff away for that. We're going to give stuff away. Let me tell you. People just don't know it yet, maybe, but I can promise you we will give some good stuff away in that 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So go down below, tell your friends, do all that. That's if you're watching on YouTube. I forgot this is a podcast too. If you're listening to the podcast, just go subscribe to the YouTube page, be a good friend, help us out, and tell your friends to do that too. Everybody's doing it these days. If you have a smartphone, just do it. Okay, it's enough of that. I think. Am I missing anything?
No, I think that's good. It's kind of funny this week. It's been a busy week. I mean, we had a U.S. Open. I mean, the live stuff is out of control as usual. I have finished Peaky Blinders.
Don't even.
I mean, have you finished Stranger Things? I assume you finished Stranger. I mean, we've got
finished there.
So much to talk about, and yet we're not going to talk about any of that.
Let me tell you about Peaky Blinders real quick. I went great. I'm so excited. I finished Stranger Things. I'm going to start there. Go, why is this all so familiar to me? It took me 3 episodes. Well, into the 3rd episode to go, because I've watched season 5, I think twice already. How did I end? Like, they continue watching on Netflix, and we went to season 5 instead. I go, I watched all of these. So I'm 1 episode into Peaky Blinders. Tommy Shelby's still the coolest son of a bitch in television history. There's no TV
Man,
character.
Are you in for a ride? Especially after Stranger Things and then pivoting to
it's so hard. It's so hard, even just from like accents and what have you.
Right. Anyways, we're not going to talk about that because we have a guest today, and that means we have some products to talk about, and we have a draft.
This could get real golf nerdy this episode, and that's all right because we don't do that too often on the show, and it really deep down, I'm pretty golf nerdy.
It's true.
We do. We have one of my favorites of all time, pre-Driving Range Heroes even, era for me, Chris Koske of Edel Golf will be joining us to discuss some new stuff from Edel, the brand. Maybe you don't know a lot about them, which is fine. They're sort of boutiquey. Get them on your radar, get to know the man a little bit, and talk about the new stuff they have going on. And yes, of course, the draft. I'm very excited.
Nice job getting his last name right this time.
Shut up, son of a bitch. Yeah, I'm assuming this is. Well, I don't know. This will come out before the what's in the box.
That's true. That's true.
The new Edel product.
Spoilers. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, I'll just save it.
Stay tuned for Bill Bush just destroying Chris Koske's last name.
And you'll see in that video like the further detail how bad it is. It's brutal.
Anyway, should we bring him in and just start the show?
Yeah, bring him in. Bring him into the show.
All right. Welcome to the show, Chris. Thank you for being here.
It's like you have to just imagine recording this, like pretend he actually did just enter. Like, oh, he just showed up and walked on stage. Now he has not been here the whole time.
Right.
I wish your guys' sets look pretty fun, to be honest.
I'm in a closet. This is a 4x8 space.
It kind of it really. I never thought about that, but that is kind of the size of our closet in our master bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's about it. Yeah.
I look like I might be interrogating somebody in the dark here.
Chris looks like he's in trouble.
Yeah.
blink 3 times.
All right. Anyways, we've got you here on the show because Edel Golf has come out with a new iron. And Bill, you know more about it than I do. We both have a 7-iron here in our hands, right? With these interesting things, and we'll talk about those. Now, Bill, you played the wedge version. Yeah. Of these, right? In fact, do you remember
that story? Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you used your Edel wedge, SMS wedge?
First time swinging one of them. We've said the story here, and Chris Koske has heard it before numerous times because I'm like, this is why I'm so good to do Edel stuff, because look at, I'm such a great just fanboy of it. Yeah, first time ever using it was golfing with you. I might have been even first-ish round of the year kind of stuff.
I think it was, yeah.
And I go, a little fluffy shot near the green. Let me try my new 60-degree. I think I have a C grind in that wedge. Let me just try it. Holes out for birdie, no problem with that thing. And I said, well, this guy's going in the bag. And it did. It stayed in the bag all season. And I swear to God, I'm not pandering. It is taking me a little bit to adjust to alternative to it because, I use a living day. I was never a big 60-degree player. It was like a desperation club. And I leaned on that thing so much last season, and to the point where I started using a lob wedge for more full shots because it was just so good. So
I can vouch for that too. That was your go-to wedge. That was the wedge you were pulling more often than not.
Out of the sand, everything was so perfect. Perfect. Such a good wedge.
Nice.
But yeah, so I am familiar with it, and it's exciting because a lot of the new technology, oh God, that was so sales pitchy brand guy. And it's exciting because but no, it's interesting to see the same. It was sort of one of those things this whole SMS waiting concept. Like, oh, okay, let's see when the golf season starts and try it out. This is some snake oil you're selling me here, Koske. And, holy shit, it works. It was the real deal. So I'm excited to see what it's like in an iron.
Yeah. So Chris, talk about the technology.
We get a lot of that response. Yeah, we get a lot of that response with this because everyone thinks that every innovation in golf has been done before, it's been made before, and people tend not to believe things when they see big performance jumps. I understand. I'm as pessimistic as the next guy. But when we started testing these irons and moving weights around, we saw some funky things in the data. And if you go on edelgolf.com and check out the irons page, you can really dig into that. This wasn't one of those things where we're going to make one claim and just put it out there. And we tested it at one swing speed and everyone gets, 8 yards. We tested against people's gamers and let them try their gamers versus ours with the weights in all 3 positions and just said, we trust it. And actually, one of the unique things about it, I don't live near our headquarters, which is in Liberty Hill, Texas. For me to do the testing, I had to go to a customer. And so when we did that testing, we did it with one of our biggest customers. And looking back, man, that might have been a pretty big risk. Going in there and saying, hey, let's just look at the data. And we put our iron up against gamers that were employees there, guests that we brought in, and our iron outperformed in distance and ball speed and accuracy. And we even saw swing speed gains when people got the weight in the right position. And that was a pretty phenomenal thing. And we're able to explain it. There's some historical products that have been launched where we saw that happen, but incredibly unique performance out of this thing.
Well, so here's the question I have. I'm looking at this. It makes sense to me from really probably up to about the 7-iron, but you start getting into your scoring irons, your short irons, right? Does it start getting a little wedgy from here on in and start getting, I could see that being a little close to the wedges. I don't know if I'm asking that well, and I might be asking this as a longtime Edel wedge loyalist, but it's hard to look at this and then think of it in a pitching wedge. So what is it like in the shorter clubs? Does that make sense? Is that a reasonable question? I don't even know.
Difficult one to answer. I mean, it looks like a pitching wedge with 45 degrees of loft on it. Not to have too much snark in my answer.
Oh, bring all the snark. I'm used to it. This other guy in the show.
No, when we look down at it, we kept the top line thickness the same from 4-iron down to pitching wedge. We graduated the offset, a little bit here and there, but one of the things that we did, because I hate golf website pictures, absolutely hate them, and so we added a few more pictures to our website than most, so you can look at the 4, the 7, and the pitching wedge at address, at face angle, and then a toe on look as well. So people can see all those angles. It's just always been a pet peeve to me that when you go on a site, typically you see a 7-iron rendering, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking golf website pictures, like people selling the golf clubs with their product images, not maybe independent blogs who just like taking pictures of golf gear, right?
Well, we've got some fancy pictures as well, but no, we just try to give a little bit more to people so they can see it. We haven't launched a ton of irons historically. Edel's famous for single length irons that David, our founder, built for Bryson when he was a young kid. And so, it's a funny story. Actually, I'm just going to go off on a little tangent here. When we were coming up with the name for these irons, there was somebody internally who said, what if we called them the VLS irons? And I said, well, what's that stand for? He said, the variable length system. And I had to pause for a minute because I said, well, isn't that just an iron? Like everyone else just sells variable length irons. We were internally so focused on single length for so long that it was almost a foreign thing to have what I call normal irons.
It's called an iron. Thank you. Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. But so, and then are you just, this is a dumb question. I should know this. It's not like I haven't had the material sent to me, but are we just calling them the SMS irons?
Yeah, calling them the SMS irons, and we played around putting some other monikers on there, and it's funny when you cruise through a golf store nowadays, everything is named, literally everything on the club, and it's like lasered on the face or on the hosel, and we didn't want to do that. We wanted to kind of like the simplicity of it. We didn't want to put a bunch of crap all over the iron. So you'll see that it has our logo. It says Edel. It says Forged, and it says SMS, and that's it.
Yeah.
So SMS stands for Swing Match System, and really the entire heritage of our company is about fitting with no outliers. And to do that, we did it with adjustability this time around. And I think that's going to be a continued trend for us and for the market as well.
So explain that a little bit. Fitting with no outliers. So I feel like, there's certain things that come up in common golf nerd discussion, like CG and MOI. That's sort of the big one we cover a lot on this show is, borderline inside ongoing joke at this point. But I think it's like I have this idea that I've been brewing about creating like the definitive fitting episode with Chris at Production Note. We got to talk about.
Good to know.
But yeah, it's been brewing. I just haven't been ready to get it out. But so what does that mean to the average person? Like, oh, okay, this guy Chris Koske came on the show, and this is really interesting. I want to check out those irons. Why do I care about no outlier fitting and what have you? Like, what does that mean to the layperson in golf?
Simply put, every swing is different. If you sit at a driving range and you watch all the people hitting golf clubs, whatever club it may be. Every body type is different. Physical abilities are different. The way their arms bend, the way their knees bend, the way they swing the golf club is just different. And typically what golf companies will do is they may have 15 irons in their lineup to try and accommodate for every single one of those. But they're still going to potentially have outliers if they're not paying attention to where the CG is weighted in relation to heel to toe. And so, as we approach that, we feel that with some adjustability, we can put 3 irons in one. Now, this isn't going to cover the gambit of all golfers, but by moving that weight, we can fine-tune the club to the swing type of that golfer. And it's pretty impressive, the changes that we see there. And how some people have, we call it it's almost like a vomit reaction when it's in the wrong place. And we were testing the wedges originally with Heath Slocum. And we moved the weight to the toe, and he got to his transition, and you see just kind of like this weird move, and he shanks the ball. And he looks at David and is like, "Pro, what just happened? I haven't shanked a ball in 15 years." And so we move the weight to the heel, and all of a sudden he's just flushing it. And it works with his swing because in biomechanic terms, he's a little bit more of a cover golfer, but he's just a little steeper. And so, that face closure rate works for him. And so just the ability to fine tune that is just different than anything else out there. And the performance is really spoken for itself.
So explain that as we talk about moving the weights around. So that's a big thing, right?
We kind of skipped over that. So there's 3 weights on the back of the club that you can actually take out and replace or move around or whatever, right? That's the
right.
Yeah. So in the fitting process, and we always recommend going to a fitter. They're professionals. They've got incredible diagnostic equipment these days. But we just recommend hitting the club 3 to 5 times with the weight in each position. So we've got 3 weights in the back, 2 2-grams and 1 8-gram, as you can see there. The one with the red ring on it is the heaviest weight. And so we recommend just moving that around and seeing where your best performance is. And it was really interesting. We were testing with a college player yesterday. Big kid, all-state wrestler who just happened to be better at golf. I think he's just good at everything he does. But when the weight was in the center, he was having really good numbers. In the toe, really good numbers. And then when we look at it in the heel, and I was looking at the data this morning, his path went from 1 degree in to out to 5 degrees, 4 degrees, and 3 degrees in his last 3 swings out to in.
Wow.
It completely changed his swing. Watching a scratch to plus player who's the number 3 guy on his college team, watching a path change that much with that little of a weight change, and then watching his response saying, "God, I just feel like I'm fighting this thing." Yet when the weight was in the toe, he was swinging at 3 miles per hour faster than his gamer. It was it's just, and we've seen that so many times. It's just so cool to watch. So yeah, you move the heavyweight around, find the place that it works for you, find the place that it feels good, and typically you see it in the numbers right after that.
So I feel like this maybe speaks against the right way to do it, but in terms of, I could see people watching this and go, and we've talked about this a little bit. I noticed with the wedges, like, all right, come on, it's sort of snake oil. I don't know if I believe it. How much of a difference is it really going to make? It's just going to have a little different feel. But with the wedges, I haven't hit the irons yet. But with the wedges, it was like I didn't even really need to go through a fitting per se. I mean, you should, and I think it's really going to help you optimize, get the shaft right, all that stuff. But just moving the weights around yourself, it was that noticeable how different the club felt and how much. I mean, it was, you could just see it. Your shots were better or they were not. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that much better. And you alluding to the Heath Slocum story and things like that. I very much had a similar experience, except I'm not an accomplished PGA tour professional. So I guess that's a testament to it. It was that noticeable of a difference for me, and I'm just some schlub that records a YouTube show with Chris every week.
My favorite schlub.
Thanks, man.
For the record.
Wow, God, you said first nice thing you said to me in a month. I love it.
You're a tremendous club.
That's right.
But I imagine it's gonna be something like that with the irons too, where you go and start, even just on the driving range, start swapping them around, and something's just going to feel right. I would believe.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I went out and visited a guy at Colorado Golf Clubs named Stan Sayers. He was one of the original fitters for Edel. And now he does a lot of instruction. And I was showing him the iron for the first time, and he got so excited. He just started walking up and down the range, showing it to everybody. And he's like, Chris, change the weight. Chris, change the weight. And so I'm just like, I'm sitting there changing weights as fast as I could to let these guys experience it and hit it. And funny part of that story is take your daughter to work day, and I take her to a driving range at Colorado Golf Club. She was getting fed up a little bit, but we let about 10 guys try the iron, and yeah, they're changing the weights and they're seeing it immediately, and they find the spot that they like really fast, which is fun to see.
So we, part of this is me pretending we haven't talked about a lot of this stuff already. So one of the things that's caught my attention with this thing is the sole grind. And it's worth noting, going way back into the original wedges, pre-SMS era, Edel was sort of known for super unique grinds, and especially on their sole grinds. And the new wedges came out much different than the original soles, but still super unique. There's not really anything like them in the biz that I'm aware of. And if you're aware of something similar, maybe leave a comment down here. You won't. There isn't one. But looking at the iron, same thing. I haven't seen too many soles on an iron like this. And tell me about it. What's worth noting in this unique sole grind on this here SMS iron?
Yeah, I mean, really what it comes down to is just trying to make better turf interaction anytime that we have the sole, and or different variations of geometry on the sole. And with this one specifically, because it's a hollow body iron, because we had to kind of build in the structure to hold those weights, it made the sole a little bit wider. And that's good for some players, but not for a wide variety. So just taking a little what we call trail relief off there on that back edge, trimming that down, it gives the effect of playing with a slightly thinner sole iron, so it slides through the dirt a little bit better. And really, that's kind of the main piece of it.
Okay, and we're putting these in the player's distance category, right?
That's right. It was interesting when we were coming out with the iron. We had a lot of debates. Where do we start? Do we do a blade iron? Well, that market's tiny. Do we go straight to like a pro version or a super game improvement version? And the player's distance category, when you really look at the numbers nowadays, has really spanned across a wider subset of golfers. So from scratch to maybe 20 handicaps, even beyond that in some cases. But they just got so much playability because of the construction of the iron. People can get distance out of them. We fixed sound issues with it. A lot of people tell us it sounds like a forged iron. I actually did a video recently where I said forged-ish, and my engineer just crushed me. Like, there's no such thing as forged-ish. I said, yeah, well, I guess I could have just said forged, but it doesn't feel like a hollow body iron where they tend to get clicky or clacky. And so they just appeal to just a much wider array of golfers. It's fun developing products.
Do you remember when the first hollow body irons started coming out? God, that has to be 6-7 years ago now. I should say the first modern ones, and how they. I still don't know what, because they were injecting them, but they just all sounded like fairway woods. It was the worst.
Yeah, especially high on the face. It sounded like you're hitting a trash can almost.
Right. And you're going, oh, great. These irons I just bought for $1,300 or whatever. I think it just caved in half the body. Nope. It just sounds that bad. Great.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny. We've cut a lot of irons in half from our competitors to learn what's going on in there. And, the foam that's in a lot of them doesn't always fill that whole cavity that's inside them.
Yeah, it's real interesting.
People would be interested to note that. Sometimes it's like this crumbly material. Ours is almost like a squishy. Like my daughter loves these squishy toys right now, and it almost feels like a Jello almost inside ours, which really helps deaden the sound quite a bit.
Since you brought it up, what is your daughter's favorite squishy?
Anything and everything. But it's funny. I was at the store there the other day, and I saw a package of a squishy ball, and it was called the Cat Astronaut, and it was like a cat astronaut squishy, and it was the strangest one I saw. She asked for it. I think it would have been her favorite, but there was no chance I was buying the Cat Astronaut.
I'm gonna say I might have to seek that one out just out of principle now.
Are squishies like modern day Beanie Babies? Like, are adults buying these and collecting them?
No,
like they have, no.
Yeah, maybe, but not out of like any sort of value and trade thing. It's more like in the fidget category, like fidget spinners and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Like a fidget spinner. If you remember the old snap bracelets, things like
those
that.
are back. Yeah, those are back too.
Oh yeah, I knew those were back.
Like, look, I got one of these. I go, listen here, listen, young blood. Because I'll tell Madeline that you want a squishy, and I guarantee you she'll hand select one out of her collection for you.
We live that on a daily here.
And they have like unique smell. There is something to them.
Wait, are they like Cabbage Patch Kids? Like they have a smell, like a unique, like a specific smell?
The Cabbage Patch Kids have like this one smells like X, this one smells like Y.
Yeah, but they had they had like a baby smell to it. Like they had like a baby powder or something smell to it, from what I remember.
Well, you might get like, it's literally like cheesecake. That is a squishy cheesecake look at the end. Smells like cheesecake. Yeah.
Shut up, really? Okay.
Or this one's like a bushel of grapes are in a bushel, right?
Sure.
Bushel of grapes. And like, it smells like grape.
Yeah. I think they're a bunch. You get grapes come in a bunch? I don't know.
I don't know about
what exactly would a cat astronaut smell like?
I'm not even going to go after
Leave
that
a comment below.
I texted a buddy. I got a buddy he's got a handful of cats, and I texted it to him immediately, and he was all in on it. He loved it.
I'm writing that down. Like, I'm going to look for it.
I'll send you a picture when it's done. It's so dark in here, I can't even find my cell phone. I think the kids just disappeared and turned off all the lights.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, the interrogation joke made before, like, it got kind of real over the last 20 minutes or so.
I feel like you're sitting across from an FBI agent. Like
yeah,
listen, the sweat light on your heat lamp on you.
We're just here to talk about the new Edel iron and really trying to help you out. We're not looking to get like Guantanamo here, all right?
Right. But yeah, okay, so let's circle back real quick and close the loop on the new irons. Where can they go? I think you had mentioned that they're going to be available to be hit across the country soon.
Yeah, so July 21st is our par date product at retail, is what we call it, in the biz. And every Golf Tech door, every Club Champion door. I was talking to Nick Sherburne, the founder of Club Champion, this morning, Chicago guy. Mm-hmm. He'll have them in every single door for people to try. And then, we'll have, I think it's about 100 other doors that'll have these across the U.S., Europe, and then beyond that even. So
very cool.
Well, I'm excited. Can't wait. Just because he's here, we got him trapped. We got to have you back on at some point to talk about the new putters. I feel like it's a new evolution in the brand, and especially for people who know you guys for the brick era and whatnot. The new stuff looks really good. So and people love buying fancy, expensive putters. So we got to have you back and talk about the putter world stuff. And plus, I feel like going back to, I won't name other brands, but that's where our paths first crossed, was basically being a raging putter nerd way back in the day. So we're gonna do that.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. I got pretty heavily involved with another putter company for quite some time. My wife likes to give me crap. I got over 50 putters in the house. It's pretty sickening, actually, but it's a good collection. It's a fun collection.
Yeah, I bet yours is. Like,
how old is your oldest putter?
Oh, I've got a couple with some hickory shafts.
Okay, so you go way
there.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got actually one of the original Odysseys. So before Odysseys ever had an insert, it was a full urethane head. They called it Stronomic, and it had 2 brass weights inside it. It was actually, the design of it was actually a master's project for the 2 founders of Odyssey. Got one of those. I got a Pell's 3-ball that was deemed non-conforming. One of the reasons he had to sell the 2-ball patent. Yeah, I got a bunch of fun
remember
stuff.
that. I remember the 3-ball putter in stores and being like, I don't know how you use this thing. It's huge.
Yeah, that's a big putter. That's a big putter. I feel like, Bill, next time I'm going to miss a show, just have Koske come and fill in for me, and you guys can just go. Because I have nothing to contribute. I have nothing to contribute to this conversation. I've got my one other putter I have in the house is like a Nike putter. That was the first putter that I played.
You didn't get the green one, did you?
No, it's not the green one. It's the red one. It's the.
All right, that's
right.
But I mean, I know it has no value of any real sort, but like it's my first putter essentially.
No, sentimental is very real with golf gear, and like a large reason the personal archive is as big as it is. Like, I remember the time I broke 180. That was a set of irons I used. Right. And I'll just plug real quick. I had the man himself, Mr. Edel, on Golf Origin Stories. And it was when the wedges were coming out, and he talks about the actual origin story of the 3-weight system. It's a pretty fun story. So I'll put the link in the description. I will say it's one of the few, because the whole can't listen. Yeah, it's uncomfortable listening to my friend's show.
Right.
I feel like it's important to say because your show is very good, and I think very highly of it. It's a me friend thing.
I understand.
I listened to that episode though, and it's very good. I very much enjoyed it. Independently. So check that out.
Fun dude to talk to for sure.
Hey, the link or something.
I said I'll put the link in the description.
Oh, all right. Yeah. I missed it. My bad.
That's all right.
No.
Let me ask you guys a question. How did you guys get together and say I'm gonna do this podcast and we're gonna talk about golf and other things?
I asked Chris, so what do you do? That's
the first time I met Bill. This is gonna be our origin story. The first time I met Bill, he all he said to me was, "What's your deal?" That was how he introduced himself to me. What's your deal? And I was like, I don't know, man. And I stand by that. I stand by that answer. I still don't really know what my deal was. But I was doing this stuff. I was doing video and I was doing some writing, but kind of just like whatever I wanted to do. And Bill just really, I don't think he could sort of...
That's not fair. You were in a limbo state. Not limbo. That's not maybe the right word, but you were in a transition state and period as well. And I think it was both sort of like, it's like you were showing signs of the old era kind of coming into a new thing.
Sure.
And so then I, of course, just had to ask it in a weird way.
But yeah, we were introduced through, I guess, technically a former mutual friend. And yeah, at one point, Bill wanted to do video because he had the website, and I did video, but I didn't really want to run a website. So a friendship was born.
Yeah, and really, I still think so what's your deal was like the love at first sight moment. We're like, oh, no, I respect this. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, though. I was playing in a bunch of different sandboxes. I was still doing, like you said, some golf equipment reviewy stuff on video, but then I was starting to get into golf vlogs and golf course features and things like that, too. So you're right.
And then both of us sort of like just being disasters, and here we are.
Right.
We enjoy it and embrace it.
How often do you guys play golf together?
Not nearly enough, Bill.
No, not enough. I would say though we go in spells. It's like we'll play a lot, maybe for like a month, and then we might not play again for 3 months, and then another month hits, and it's like, God, we just played 6 rounds in
That's true.
2 weeks. It's a weird thing, but yeah, it hasn't been enough. Chris invited me to play this week.
I did,
but I will be away in Wisconsin for nationals for my daughter's dance team, so I can't wait.
That sounds absolutely
what's the worst in the whole thing is we'll be up at Grand Geneva, which is chock full of very, very high quality golf. And
I was going to say, I would come to you if you were available. I would come out there.
I don't think for a second I wasn't going today. You know, there's only so much time like people are actually dancing. What have I said? Hey, Sarah, you're going to sit around anyway. Just take Liam for a little bit and I'm going to go play golf.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I enjoy my life and staying alive. I will just not bring that up. So there we are.
I was almost in Wisconsin last week, actually. I was in southeastern Minnesota, and my wife grew up on a dairy farm out there, and I got a call from the cousin on Thursday night. Said, "You want to play in a golf tournament Friday morning?" I said, "Sure." He said, "It's 40 guys. It's called the Cheese Days Classic."
I'm in.
Yeah, I said, I want to be a part of this.
Well, it's pretty bogus, actually, because they have this town festival. It's called Cheese Days, but they don't have cheese. The creamery closed like 50 years ago.
That's so Wisconsin, by the way. Like, oh, hey, we're known
what town?
For this thing. Yeah.
Can you say the town? My daughter went to college in La Crosse. I wonder if it's.
So this is just across the border in Elgin, Minnesota, just north of Rochester.
Okay.
Just north of Rochester. And so I go up. And I'm not sure who I'm going to be paired with. They say $51 gets you the round, entry to the tournament, and an 8-pack of Busch Light and a bag of ice.
A pack of craft singles because it's cheese day.
Yeah. And so they pair me up with a guy, and they say, hey, they ask him, hey, do you want to be paired with somebody else, someone more familiar? And he looks at me and goes, oh, shoot, no, he's got a collared shirt. He must be real deal. I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay. Here's what we're dealing with. So anyway, we 2-man scramble. I played out of my mind. We shot 73. We won the thing. It was an absolute blast. Got a new friend out of it, but it was almost surreal.
Nice.
I'm pretty jealous of that story. Like, I want to stumble into Cheese Day in Podunk, Wisconsin. Actually, avoid Wisconsin as much as I can. I was about to be like, oh, I'm kind of upset if he goes to Wisconsin, like, hey, we'll make the trek up and see him. But I'm like, this guy comes to Chicago and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, too busy. So never mind. Whatever, Koske. I go to him in Colorado. He's like, I'm going to be in Minnesota. I'm sorry. I'm too busy.
I rarely spend more than 24 hours in Chicago. I've only played golf in Chicago one time. I don't even remember the course name. It was...
I remember, I'll just say, I'm not going to plug other people right now, but yeah, I remember that. It was play around with you and some other people.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. That's the only round I've ever played in the state of Illinois, as a matter of fact.
That's the guy who introduced the two of us. Just full circle right there. There you go.
True story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit.
All right. Should we draft? Do we want to get into this draft? All right. So, Koske, this is how this works. I have a randomizer on my phone. I enter our names, and that's the draft order. We do like a snake draft, so it goes 1 to 3, 3 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 1. We do 4 rounds. Okay?
All right.
And the draft this time around, suggested by our guest, Chris Koske, is the all-time Taco Bell menu items. So
I'm so nervous for this draft, and I thought like the 80s, 90s movie draft with Noonan Golf, like that was a very important one, and one I'm like, even if you don't win, so to speak, which we don't have winners.
It's impossible, right?
But like, I felt like, God, all the things I'm not gonna get on that. Just even if there's so many good picks.
See, and that's really funny because after just the two of you, and Chris, you can tell this story if you want, about your brush with great Taco Bell greatness on the golf course. But I already, just listening to you go back and forth in email, I already feel like I'm out of my depth here. Like I have a very, I'm like, my taste in Taco Bell food is very fundamental. It's very kind of,
I'm like that too.
Okay.
But
all right.
I think that's sort of the point. There's just crucial things.
That's true. That is true.
And stuff that may not get mentioned that is criminal. But
fair.
generally speaking, I'll be honest with you, I don't even really like Taco Bell that much. But
see, I do love Taco Bell. I haven't had it in years, but I do. I have, part of it is one, I just have very, very fond memories. The Taco Bell in our town was the meeting spot to find out where we were going for the night, whose house, whatever. So we were always there. I mean, the 59, what was it? Was it 59, 69, 79 menu? The original menu, just being, as a poor high school kid being like, yeah, I'm getting myself $5 worth of Taco Bell tonight. I'm really gonna splurge. Like there's that whole thing, but
that's a throwback. I forgot about the 59, 69, 79 menu. That's a great poll.
I just remember there's one story where me and one of my best friends in high school, we were quite the pair because I was roughly 5'3" as a senior in high school, and he was 6'7". But we went everywhere together, and one night we went and spent $20 at Taco Bell between the two of us, and just I feel
sick
nuts.
just thinking of that.
Right.
So, I mean, based on size proportions, did he eat $17 worth and you got $3 worth, or did you guys knock it out?
No, we split it up pretty evenly. I could eat like a tall man back in the day. Quite honestly.
That's how it always works. It's always the little tiny guys that just like they can't grow up or out.
Right.
And they can eat, 7,000 calories for dinner.
That's fair. That's about it. All right. So let's get into the randomizer. All right. Our guest has the first pick of the draft. I am followed by Chris Koske, and Bill, you are the third pick in the first round. First pick in the second round. So without further ado, this is any menu item in the history of Taco Bell. Chris Koske, I almost did it now.
You did it. No, you did it. You did it.
You're on the clock. That's how those words got mixed up. I wanted to say you're on the clock. All right, off you go.
I feel like there's always a little color commentary before the pick is made. And so I will get into the fact that I've always been a Taco Bell fan. It's my road trip food. But the menu is much shortened from where it used to be. And I don't know if a lot of your viewers and listeners know this, but the golf world has made an impact on Taco Bell, and not necessarily in a beneficial way to fans. Gentleman named Mark King, who used to be the CEO of TaylorMade, is now the CEO of Taco Bell, and he's greatly reduced the menu. And I'm sure they're more profitable because of it and all these other things from a supply chain standpoint. But I'd say a lot of the things in my keys to victory list here are not on the current menu. So with that said, number one menu item of all time for me is the Mexi Melt. If you guys don't know what that is and you want to get a taste of it, I was actually down near Auburn, Alabama recently, and I was just frozen trying to order. I said, I don't know what to order anymore. I said, I really wish you had the Mexi Melt still. And she says, oh, honey, you can do a cheesy roll-up with tomatoes, onions, and beef. Just add all that. It ended up being like a $3.70 burrito with all the add-on fees. But you still can get a Mexi Melt. That's the number one pick in the draft.
That's a good pick.
That is a good pick. That is a good pick. And it's a good little secret because I feel like Taco Bell, they might be secret menu sort of joint, right? You can still kind of get some of the stuff.
I can't wait to be same thing. I'm in some random place in America. I'm be like, hang on. We're only going to talk about, we know the menu's bad. Let me text somebody the secret menu stuff. Be like, Koske,
right.
At a Taco Bell, shoot me some secret menu stuff. Got it. Thanks.
Right.
We can get it done.
All right, my turn. I'm up. I feel like this is a pretty obvious one, and it just started back into the headlines as of late, and that is the Mexican pizza.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's with the refried beans in between the two shells. Although no tomatoes, I'll go no tomatoes on that, but Mexican pizza for sure.
That was always my dad's go-to, and I'd be like, as a little kid, I'd be like, oh, gross. Why aren't you just getting like a plain soft taco or something? But man, talk about coming to appreciate something as you get older. What a gem.
Yeah. And didn't they brought it back and it sold out in 5 hours or something. People just mashed them.
They had a pre-sale. For the first 2 days, if you were like a member on their app or something, you were able to get it. But if you didn't have that, you couldn't get it until 2 days later. I've never seen a fast food item drop like that. Phenomenal marketing.
Yeah. All right, William Bush, floor is yours.
I have I have one that I don't think's gonna get taken, so I'm gonna save it.
I'm worried about that because you guys, I don't know, man.
Well, I don't know how popular it was even then, but it just hit some sort of sweet spot for me. But so we'll get to it. It's like if I pick one of these, well, wait, I'm snaking right now, so I can take
you
both
got two picks. Yeah, you got two picks.
Number one,
you can go big man and point
number
guard.
one, cinnamon twist.
Oh, it's on my list, but that's a reach. I think that's a reach for your number one pick in the draft.
No matter what,
that's your banana. That's your banana. You're always
listen, here's why. Everybody loves it. Even people who don't like Taco Bell love it. And when you're like, if you do go through a spell where you're like, I just can't do Taco Bell or whatever, you can always do the cinnamon twist. Always do it.
See, I'm out on the cinnamon twist. It's like a sweet pork rind almost.
Here's the one thing I'll tell you. They are not as good as when we were kids.
Really?
They've like definitely planed up quite a bit. They're not as sweet as they used to be.
That's a bummer.
Let me put it this way. They didn't get like more cinnamony in its place. It's just more bland. And,
just less cinnamon.
The puffs you give your kids, right? Like your 3-year-old kid.
Oh, yeah. There's got to be like a TikTok video out there of someone like recreating the original cinnamon twist, right?
And then like in the, they have those like weird, like TP pyramid like bags.
Right.
And there'd always be the like collection of this cinnamon sugar dust in the bottom corner. Like, so they play for everybody, and it's just classic staple.
Ooh, man, that is an early pick, though. That's an early pick.
Yeah.
Well, that's an early pick. Then I'm not worrying. I'm swapping some stuff around and not going with what I was going to go number 2. I'm gonna go. I'll go with a food item here. The Enchirito.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
You remember that? The Enchirito was so gross.
Wait, what is an Enchirito? That's not even on my list. I don't know what an Enchirito is.
Still to this day, I don't even know how to explain the thing. It's like you have to Google it to look at it. It came in like the little black plastic tray because they put so much sauce and.
Oh, it's like an enchilada kind of, but like a baby enchilada.
Burrito enchilada.
Yeah, but like a hard burrito kind of thing. It's disgusting. And they put it's just drenched in this sauce and quote unquote cheese on top of it, but God, it was so good. So I mean, it's not on the menu anymore, and it's a criminal thing. But the Enchirito, man, that was my favorite Taco Bell food.
So I had a 3rd round grade on the Enchirito, but it reminds me of the McRib at McDonald's, and I feel like it should be brought back every 2 years. Or something.
That's a great perspective.
Disappointing.
All right, now I'm up. See, my list is all out of whack now. I don't know where you guys are going, and I really. All right, I'm gonna go chalupa for my second pick.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah, fried shell, supreme, sour cream. Do it up. Some hot sauce on there.
Here's my question, and this might be for Koske, and I might get in trouble for this amongst the draft committee here, but if he's going chalupa, does that count the double chalupa as well?
If it's a different menu item, yeah, it doesn't count.
Okay.
I mean, they've had so many different style chalupas over the year. I think I don't know. I don't want to blow some of the other products out of the water. So I think you're all different enough.
Even though you did name drop, but yeah, we should have prefaced that. So there's no difference between a chalupa and a chalupa supreme. That's the same item, but you could go with a totally separate version of that.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
God, there's still so many great things on the menu.
I'm nervous.
It's like I almost can't wait for honorable mentions.
All right.
I'll jump in here because my second favorite item, I don't think you guys are going to pick, so I'm going to save that one. But one that I really liked, another one that's off the menu, is the Nacho Supreme. Yeah. So it came in a little box. You got the cheese, you got the sour cream, the beans, the beef, You put a bunch of fire sauce on it. You just got a lot of different flavors clashing. I thought it was just excellent. But again, rest in peace.
I don't understand how Nacho Supreme. I mean, I guess if Mexican pizza can come up, why can't Nacho Supreme come up?
Yeah, that was actually, I was going back and forth. I thought Nacho Supreme and Nachos Belgrande, same.
No,
the Belgrande was even
really
bigger.
Okay.
More.
All right.
I think it had tomatoes and chives.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah. But that was on my list too.
no, I'm not gonna say it. Go ahead.
That's pretty solid. So, if I'm snaking back right now,
third pick of the draft.
I'll go to my go-to, which was the shredded chicken burrito, and shredded chicken, cheese, and some sort of weird like creamy green chipotle sauce. I don't even really know what was in there. But at $1.79, you can get like 3 of those suckers and feel really good about yourself.
Nice. I give Koske credit in this that he has the prices on everything too, like perfectly down. I mean, shout out to you reminding us of the 59, 69, 79 menu, but he's like, I can tell you exactly what combination of food costs. It's so impressive.
I feel like you travel enough too. You could probably give us the tax by state on your like go-to taco.
It's fairly close.
All right.
You know, it's funny. Speaking of another fast food restaurant, I always enjoyed Jack in the Box tacos.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're terrible, but 2 for 99 cents. I can get 6 of them for $3.24 with the 8% California tax growing up. So, you know, we'd go with $3.25 and get 6 tacos. It was phenomenal.
Didn't Jack in the Box, like early 90s, have some sort of like horrible salmonella outbreak and it was around the tacos? Or what was the Jack in the Box controversy? No one remembers?
Nothing.
I'll have to look at it.
I don't know, but I got a good marketing story for you with Jack in the Box. So the guy who was actually Jack's voice was the art director at the ad agency. It was an ad agency in San Diego. And eventually, I mean, he became known as Jack so much they couldn't fire the agency. I don't know if that still holds true, but this is for about the last 25 years.
That's fascinating.
Those commercials don't get here. So for those people that haven't seen them, it's just a dude with like a box head, right? He's like a clown box head.
A big white round head with a
that's what it was. Yeah.
It was crazy down at ISU McEwen. Because all of a sudden you go down there watching, the Blackhawks Bowls, whatever, and you would get hit with Sonic commercials before Sonic was up here. And you'd be like, what? And all the St. Louis kids would be like, you don't have Sonic?
Yeah.
Carl's Jr. and Hardee's was like on its way out, but Carl's Jr. commercials and Jack in the Box. And there weren't, if memory serves, there weren't any Jack in the Boxes in Bloomington normal, but you didn't have to go far south to get to them. So, yeah, I've never had Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box tacos are bomb. So I lived in San Antonio and Fort Worth, so we had Jack in the Box and Whataburger. Those are pretty consistent, and yeah, we would hit those Jack in the Box tacos. They're like fried tacos. They're kind of like almost like what's that rolled up Mexican thing where they dip them like taquitos,
In some places, the taquitos in San Diego, I went to college in San Diego. They call them rolled tacos. It's the same exact thing,
right?
Yeah, Burger King did a version of those tacos, I think, for a while too, of the Jack in the Box fried taco. Yeah. Also very good, for that matter. All right. Anyways, my turn. So I've got the Mexican pizza and the chalupa. Man. You're right. There's going to be some good honorable mentions here. I'm going to go again with the Mexican pizza had the refried beans in between the 2 shells for the pizza. I'm going to go double decker taco, which was the soft shell, wrapped around the hard shell with the refried beans and then a taco in there. Those things were so good. So good.
Absolutely love it.
Oh, God, I can't think of what it reminded me of something. I can picture it, but I can't think of what it was called now. Oh, it's going to drive me nuts. All right. Yeah, solid pick. Oh, boy. I got 2 picks left.
Yeah, these are these your last 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide if I want to go deep track or, you got to hit hit the greatest hits. I'm gonna go with the cheesy gordita crunch.
Yeah, that was 4th round pick for me. Yep. Very good pick.
I'll be honest. I just sort of did the blind, like you just got to pick one. I could have picked a million. And this one is a sentiment. Now, Chris, this is my banana. All right. This is my banana.
Koske has no idea what that reference is, but we did the first time we just did it was like the origin of drafts, because I had mentioned I'd gone to an island for vacation or something, and I asked what your number one pick of fruit was, and Bill went banana, and that was like that's a reach. Like, of all the fruit, you pineapple, strawberry, watermelon, you're gonna go banana, but
I love bananas.
Yeah, but he said it's a very sentimental. It got. What was your line about the banana? It got you through a lot of tough times.
It did. A lot of hockey games, man. A lot of hockey games.
Right.
A lot of rough next days. Let's just say.
Right.
Banana thick and thin. So fine. If I'm not winning the championship that year, at least the banana and me had a great time doing it. All right.
So what's your sentimental 3rd round pick?
The Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Oh, I was going to ask if that was going to be part of it. Yeah, I could see you really, really appreciating that, because you love those super caffeine-y, sugary drinks. Yeah,
I do. I miss it's something I miss in my previous life. I'll just say that.
But
yeah. The Baja Blast is a hit. It's I could have picked
your
that.
draft is crazy. Your draft is drunk, Bill, for real.
It's a full meal.
I like the guy talking 6 tacos at Jack in the Box, telling me like, "Oh, it's a full meal." Oh, geez, like he's judging me.
That's the best. That's the best.
Tell me every Taco Bell menu item for the last 35 years and what they combine to in total price, and he's judging me.
Yeah, he's the subject matter expert here. You should listen to him. He knows what he's doing.
Well, so if anything, I think he'd at least go, "I respect it." Man.
I seriously respect the Baja Blast, but as we stated earlier, the twists were a bit of a reach.
Yeah, you got the twists. What was your second pick?
Enchirito.
Oh, you have the Enchirito going for you, but otherwise, man.
And the cheesy gordita crunch. Like,
oh yeah, you're right. Okay, so that's it. Then you're done, right? That's 4 picks.
I'm done.
Okay. So then
I kind of do want everything on my draft board like right now.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
All right, so I'm torn between. There's a lot of this would be my last pick, so this will be a sentimental pick, and I will tell you I'm not going to pick it. I don't think Koske will either, but I will say like I love the soft taco.
Taco Supreme, man.
Just the straight up, for sure. I really, really do love that. But I'm going to go, and I think this may be what Bill was talking about. I'm going to go cheesy Fiesta potatoes for my 4th pick, for my last pick.
It was on my list.
Yeah, I love the cheesy Fiesta potatoes.
That's strong. I think I've had that once. And
with
that was about
it. With some cheese on there, and then you get a little sour cream and some spicy sauce and the fire sauce. Mm-hmm. It's a good little snack. It's a good little chaser.
I did have like a breakfast thing there once that had potatoes in it, but I never really had too much breakfast.
I was going to say, no, I was never done it for post draft.
Yeah.
Notice none of us are adding any of the breakfast items in. When I was verifying some menu just in case we weren't allowed to do something, I saw a lot of things about breakfast items, and I was like, I've never had any of these, and I don't care. And I've heard good things. I don't need to. I don't need to bother. First, you have the whole McDonald's breakfast menu. You have the Chris sandwich over there at Burger King.
Over there by the Burger King, yeah. Well, I don't want to. I'm not gonna. We're gonna do breakfast, I'm sure, sometime, and I'm not gonna.
You have Dunkin' Donuts. Like, I don't need Taco Bell breakfast. I don't need it.
Yeah.
No. I love breakfast burritos. Down in the Austin area where our headquarters is, breakfast tacos are the big thing in Texas, and. Man, I've had some really good breakfast tacos down there.
Yeah, Phoenix.
Taco
Phoenix
Bell,
too. They do They do some really good, like the Glendale area. They've got some really great breakfast burrito joints for sure. All right, close it out. Chris Koske, what is the last pick of the 2022 Taco Bell menu draft?
This one's tough, and I've got some heart for it, but it wouldn't be the last thing I ordered if it was like my last meal. But I always really enjoyed the pintos and cheese. They give you a little bowl of beans with Enchirito sauce on it with cheese and sour cream, and it was just
interesting.
Phenomenal.
It's like a crossover. They use the same cheese as the other menu item.
Yeah, and the sauce. It got that little bit of a spicy enchilada sauce in there, and it just it made rather bland refried beans taste really good. And I'd always ask for extra sauce if I could get it. Had some friends that worked at a Taco Bell when I was in high school, so we went pretty nuts on the menu from time to time.
Now this is all making sense. By the way, I love it in my DRH notebook, like just flipping back through the pages, and that the drafts are like immortalized in here.
Yeah,
and scratch notes and everything. Like this was serious business.
That's awesome. All right.
So, do you guys play fantasy football?
I don't have the heart to stick with it, so I don't make anybody deal with me doing fantasy football anymore.
Oh yeah, I still play. I didn't play last year. I'm in like 2 or 3 leagues. Last year I was just in one league, and it felt good to just be a one leaguer.
Yeah,
So I usually put together a 3-ring binder, and the first 4 pages of paper are like maybe actual research, and then I'll just put a bunch of filler in. I poked 3 holes in about 50 sheets of paper, so it looks like I did a lot of research. And then I'll redesign a cover page every year, and usually it has something to do with Bill Walsh and Keys to Victory.
That's awesome.
So people think I take it really serious, but it's I just try and get them a little intimidation.
I was judging for a minute, like, of course he's a guy that takes fantasy football super serious, but no, that's a great move.
That is a good move. You might have to steal that. Might have to steal that.
So Chris Koske,
when Home Depot first opened, and actually I talked to Arthur Blank, who's the founder of Home Depot, about this. They didn't have money to fill the whole store. And so they put a bunch of empty cardboard boxes up in the rafters, so it looked like they had a ton of inventory. And it made people feel like they were going into this hardware superstore. And he basically he used my keys to victory.
I'll tell you what, that example was just getting a business management degree in school. Like, it's like every class, like, hang on, let me tell you this Home Depot story. Like, can I stop you if I've heard this one before, please? And it is genius, but it's like from that first, business 101 class all the way through, every teacher thinks they're giving you this, like, let me tell you about this thing. And you're like, oh, okay. You got me this time.
That's exactly right.
All right. So Chris Koske went with the Mexi Melt Nacho Supreme, the shredded chicken burrito, pintos and cheese.
Yeah.
Chris
Strong.
McEwen, you went with the Mexican pizza, the chalupa, the double-decker taco, and the cheesy Fiesta potatoes.
Man, I'm really happy. I'm really happy with my roster. Gotta tell you.
Guys, these are all great as far as I'm concerned. And I would love nothing more than 3 of us get together and have all of this.
Oh my God, that'd be the best.
Be the best. And then
you'd still be hungry when you got done, Bill, because you have like one food.
Oh, no way, dude. You just have a small Baja Blast. You're going to be like, hang on, I got enough acid going in here that I don't need anything else. But yeah, so I went Cinetwist, the Enchirito, Cheesy Gordita Crunch, and Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Honorable mentions, you know what? We brought it up a few times, but I think given how great and really culturally significant they are, they could have stood as standalone items. The mild sauce and fire sauce, each one of them. If you said I'm going fire sauce, I would have respected that for a pick.
The fire sauce, when that came out, you're right. That was a game changer for sure.
I have a phenomenal Taco Bell story for you. I completely forgot about it until you just mentioned that. So Jason Finley, Luke Williams, 2 of my best friends in life, both work at Callaway. We were out to lunch one time, and we look at this guy, and he's sitting at the table alone at Taco Bell. And he lines up 10 different hot sauces just in front of him, like perfectly in a line. And then he's got 2 tacos to his left, and he's got those unwrapped. And he starts ripping the top off of each of the hot sauces and just sucking them down, one after another. And he goes down the whole line, just sucks them down. And then all of a sudden he starts eating the tacos first. Like, he had to get that hot sauce in and then mix it all up.
Wow.
It was, I don't know, OCD. I don't know what it was. It was one of the strangest things I'd ever seen at a restaurant.
Just sitting across him and watching it going, I have nothing to say.
Just sucking them down.
That's
it was
crazy.
amazing. Just like,
I say,
God.
I feel like a future video coming up where we hit a Taco Bell and we just go, hey, remember that thing Koske told us about? We're trying it.
We're going to try it?
Let's do it.
Oh, my God.
Quick, give me a Baja Blast. It hurts.
Yeah. How about the Crunch Wrap? Any fans of the Crunch Wrap? I love a Crunch Wrap.
I had Crunch Wrap Supreme on here.
Yeah.
You know what was also great, not mentioned? The taco salad from Taco Bell. Delightful.
Never had it, but I'll take your word for it.
And then how does no one say Nachos Bel Grande?
Well, I wanted to go Nachos Bel Grande, but I name dropped it, so I left it off the list. But Nachos Bel Grande was my third pick. My third,
it's a good one.
There was a mention, And the reason I didn't go there was pure price. A lot of
just value. The value wasn't there. It's fair. It's fair.
And Nacho Supreme was like 99 cents at the time, and the Bel Grande I think was like $2.29, and it wasn't that much bigger. So for the tomatoes and chives or whatever it was,
fair. It's fair.
The price memorization to me is like, hey, man, Chris Koske, the guy who was with Callaway and Odyssey and did so much, and the guy who's now with Edel Golf and doing so much, but Rain Man of Taco Bell is this. That's the takeaway.
Oh, this so
shit,
good.
This shit's going to be in the WRX forums.
So I got one. We used to, and I won't claim that I stole, but I might have taken one or two. We used to take the trays out of Taco Bell, and my buddy, growing up, he had an old VW Bug, and we'd grab onto his taillights and skate on the trays around the parking lot. It was intense.
We once, speaking of high school stories out of Taco Bell, we once moved my buddy's Ford Escort without the keys. Like, we had like a bunch of football players just pick it up at the Taco Bell and then put it on the curb so they couldn't get off the curb. And then we left.
Man, Taco Bell is a frighteningly key part of so many people's lives.
Oh,
in stories like this. I just so here's one that I have. We had a hockey game in Geneva in high school, and there was a tournament there. So our game was at 9:15 at night or something, high school game, Friday night. And I was like, all right, cool, have my game. And then I was going to hang out with my girlfriend after. And there was this tournament during the day that one of the games went into, I think, 6 overtimes for the tournament. So we didn't end up going on for our game till 12:25 at night. So game finishes, tell my parents, I'm like, because a couple of my buddies were like, I'm going to Taco Bell with these guys and then I'll come home. And they're like, yep, okay, cool. I didn't. Instead, I went to my girlfriend's house and just said hi, because she's like, well, I'm asleep.
It's 1 in the morning.
It's 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. See you later. And oh man, same town as I live in, so it wasn't hard for that to get caught. And my parents go, "Whoa, I saw your car there." Like, no, I swear we went to Taco Bell. Just dropping her off. Like, you weren't.
How dare you use Taco Bell as a crutch or as an excuse?
But man,
Some respect.
I leaned into it, and, right? So I said I deserve to get caught. Now, to be fair, said girlfriend is my wife today. So
right.
I feel like it was a good investment, right? And Taco Bell is probably key to us being married and having our family. She does love Taco Bell too, by the way. What else? Because I had the Enchirito, I felt like it was sort of cheating and doubling up, but the Quesarito
Quesarito
was a good one. And let's not forget the Doritos Los Tacos.
Yep, that was number 10 on my list. But yeah,
so disgusting, but so
brutal.
Great.
But yes, perfect.
Yeah,
talk about, you should have gone with that and your Mountain Dew, and like really, that's it right there.
Doritos Los Tacos, a Mountain Dew Baja Blast, and Sega Genesis. Let's go.
Do you guys remember the chili cheese burrito? It wasn't around very long, but another one that was really saucy with like the enchilada style sauce, a little spice to it. That was good.
God, I can't tell if this is one of my favorite episodes ever. It's like I'm going to go to bed feeling sick just talking about it.
Right? Oh man.
All right, gentlemen.
We were driving back from Minnesota. We're just north of Des Moines, Iowa on this past Saturday. And my kids love McDonald's. We stop at McDonald's, but I can't do it. And so I look on Google, and there's a Taco Bell 0.2 miles away. And so we're on a 13-hour drive. I'm like, I got to get home as fast as possible, but I'm getting Taco Bell. And I knew this was coming up, so I had to prepare myself a little.
It's research, right.
And so my wife, I think she got 2 or 3 soft tacos. Pretty simple order. Somehow we spent $26 because of my custom cheesy roll-up wannabe Mexi Melts. It got out of hand.
I love this guy who's like so passionate about the high quality delicacy that is Taco Bell, but at McDonald's he just can't do it.
Can't do it, man. Can't do it.
6 tacos from Jack in the Box. You can't do McDonald's. And don't get me wrong, McDonald's, like, they're all so, at the end of the day, I go, wait a minute, all these places are so disgusting, but
some of them are worth it, some of them aren't. That's what it comes down to.
I eat more Mexican food than anybody you've ever met, and I pretty much guarantee that. I'm like a 20 tortilla a week guy.
That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
It's like, I don't eat a lot of bread, things like that, crackers, but tortillas, quesadillas, things like that are good. I've eaten Mexican food in probably close to a dozen countries around the world. And so a little pro tip for you and your listeners, if you're going to eat Mexican food and somewhere it's a little shady, like Malaysia, Hong Kong, something like that, go fajitas. Fajitas are like the hardest thing to screw up. It's meat and it's vegetables.
Right. And I was told when I spent a week in, I think it was Brownsville, Texas, which is right on the border. Like you can see the fence, right, from my hotel. And I remember my host basically, because I was working at the school, he's like, make sure you get the warm pico de gallo. Do not get the cold pico de gallo, because it's not gonna go well for you. Yeah.
Really? Not heard that. Texas has some strange Mexican food though. It's a little different.
I mean, I think that's Texas.
It's fair.
It's just a little different.
Well,
a little different.
It is a little different.
All right, boys. It's been a pleasure and a fun one. I feel like we could do part 2 and 3 of this chat. And you know what? We will at some point.
I was going to say, yeah.
Absolutely will. Chris Koske, thank you for joining us. It was the best. Go check out Edel's website. Find your nearest fitting location, your Club Champion, your Golf Tech, wherever it is you need to go to check it out. It's worth it. The stuff's really good. Don't just take it from me. Take it from my 60-degree wedge. That will also tell you how good it is.
I witnessed for that.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
That's Chris McEwen. That's Chris Koske. I'm Bill Bush, drivingheroes.com. Go follow him at Chris McEwen, at Edel Golf, probably. And I forgot what your personal is, so if you want to plug it.
Chris Koske. I put the full name in there.
He's a legend. He's the best, guys. He's always been, always will be. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to go down below, do all the things. Appreciate it. This has been the Outrage Level Show. Sometimes about golf. We'll see you next week.